We're going to be testing a new football trading strategy involving backing under 2.5 goals and using insurance. This was a strategy idea we created in the previous video, and now it is time to put it to the test. Can this strategy be profitable? Might it need a tweak or two? We're going to use the football trading simulator software to find out. Go grab a nice cold beer or an Irish coffee and let's get into it. So we're back to the drawing board, and if you saw the previous video, you'll know that I got some watchers of this channel to email me with your strategy ideas, and I said I would put the best ones in theory to the test, along with adding my own suggestions and my own feedback, and then maybe we can all create a profitable strategy together. Well, that's all part of the experiment anyway. The winner was Craig, who made the brief suggestion you can see on screen, which involves backing under 2.5 goals and then backing the favourite as insurance to kind of hedge ourselves in case there is an early goal, since it's most likely to go to the favourite. And then we're going to look to maybe cash out around 10 or 20 minutes. And, you know, these were the brief notes from Craig. And I kind of like the idea. I like the idea in theory, at least. And you will have seen it in the previous video. We ran it through the simulator to start to create some rules for the strategy. But today, we're going to give it a brutal test using the football trading simulator. Now, if you missed it, here are the brief rules that we're going to start with anyway. Okay, this is all just a big experiment at the moment as we're looking to tweak this and build this into some sort of profitable strategy. Now, it is quite simple at the moment. It's still very basic. We're going to back under 2.5 goals with 50% of our stake. And then we're going to also back the pre-match favorite with 50% of our stake. And then the idea is that we're going to exit after any goal. Okay, so if the favorite scores, ideally, we could be either looking at a scratch trade situation, or if you saw the previous video, if they can score late in the first half, we're going to win on both markets for a really big profit. Okay, but the idea is that we're going to exit after any goal. So if the underdog is to score first, that's our worst case scenario, and we will have to accept a loss in that scenario. Okay. Or we can exit at halftime if 0-0, which is also a profitable scenario. Okay, so those were the rules of it. And like I said, it's pretty simple at the moment. We don't have a desired odds range or match profile to go for, or even a staking plan. Okay, that's why we do the tests, in order to get an idea of how it should be tweaked going forward. And then once we've run all the tests, then of course we need to start to think about filtering it statistically as well, using actual real match data. Okay, you're not just going to run out and use this blindly on the football markets, but it's still early days yet, still early days. And just to keep in mind, what we're going to do, just for the purposes of this video, is that we're going to be running a mini test. Okay, we're going to collect 10 trades, we're going to tweak it, and then we're going to repeat. Okay, now I know 10 trades, very, very small sample. You probably want at least 100 as a minimum, probably closer to 1,000. But as you know, it's a YouTube video. We've got a limited amount of time to fit the content in. So I'm just going to give you an idea of how you would go about this. Okay, when you get the software for yourself, you can run 100 trades or 1,000 trades or 1,000,000 trades if you want. Okay, but for this video, we're going to keep it simple. We're just going to collect 10 trades, tweak it, and then repeat. Okay, I don't know why I think it says twerk, but it does say tweak. Okay, but I was getting a bit worried there. But anyway, just keep in mind that in reality, you will need a much bigger data sample to draw any conclusions about a strategy. Do keep that in mind, and do not draw any of your conclusions from the mini test you are about to see. As with anything, run your own tests, do your own due diligence, if I can say that correctly, and only risk money you can afford to lose. All right, and just keep in mind, the strategy is going to be tested using the football trading simulator software. You can get this software for yourself and run unlimited strategy tests for yourself. You can let your imagination run wild and just have hours of fun doing this. Okay, this is going to be open for beta release very, very soon. If you like the look of the simulator, you want to get it for yourself and give it a test, then click the link in the description of this video, submit your email address, and you'll get an invite to get this when this is released. That's the only way you can get it. Okay, you have to put in your very best email address and we will email you an invite. Okay, so that is that's very, very important if you do want a copy of the software. Anyway, we're going to jump behind the computer screen and give this strategy a test drive. But before we do that, it would be a huge help if you could click the like button to show your support for this channel. If you like the subject and the content, then clicking the like button will help us to produce similar videos in the future, and it doesn't cost you a thing to click the like button. Okay, looks like you clicked it. Now let's get into it. So we're really going to put this to the test and get some ideas. So let's switch this over to simulator mode, and we're really going to try this strategy idea out. Okay, so let's click on tracker, and we want to get an idea of how this strategy works. Now it is back in under 2.5 goals with back the favorite sort of pseudo insurance. Okay, so we're just going to name it that for now. Let's name it version 1. Okay, so that is in. And it's a matter of going back to the simulator. And then as we scroll down, you'll see that we now have a button to record that strategy as we now move forward. So click on simulate random match. And what we're going to do for this first part of the test is we're going to do pretty much a blind test. Okay, we're going to back the favorite at any odds, back under 2.5 goals at any odds as well. Kind of see how that plays out. And then we're going to maybe look to tweak it, okay? And for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to collect 10 trades, okay? In real life, you'd want to collect a whole lot more than that before anyone starts in the comments. But to keep this video easy to consume and entertaining, we're just going to collect 10 trades, and then we're going to tweak it. Now, I've already got a good idea of how this can be tweaked, but let's see how this plays out blindly, okay? Aston Villa against Bolton. We just backed Aston Villa at 1.45 with £500, and we backed under 2.5 goals at 2.14. This is a match from the English Championship, and it's about to go in play. So right about now would be good for some background crowd noise, and we turn on a match and make it seem like this is a real football match really happening in the background. Okay, that's much better. I think we're good to go. So let's start this match. Let's let it go in play. And, well, okay, straight away we get a goal within the first 10 minutes. Okay, so that is a little bit annoying. Now, we cash out on the match odds market as per the rules of the strategy, is that we want to exit. We exit both positions after the first goal. So that's going to lock in a profit on the match odds market of £114. However, the loss on the 2.5 goals market is going to cancel that out, or more than cancel it out. It's going to put us into a £104 loss on this match. Okay, so overall we're at £104. Okay, so we're kind of done with this, so we want to end the game, and that is £104 lost on that match. Not a great start to this little test, and we just record it there by clicking on the strategy. Let's head back to the strategy, and you can see that it's recorded in there automatically. And then it is just a matter of running it again, okay? Like I said, this is a great bit of kit. You are trading a 90-minute match within 90 seconds or less, okay? So let's try it again on this match from the Portuguese league. Pacos Ferreira at 2.36. And then the under 2.5 goals is at 1.72, okay? And we're going to split it again, 500 and 500. And that's another thing I wanted to mention as well, is that once we've got this early data, is that we can also look at the staking. So maybe we might want to put 60% on the favorite, 40% on unders, or vice versa, okay? But we're only going to learn that by initially doing this blind test and seeing how this just plays out, okay? So match number 2, we're underway now, and 10 minutes in. So far so good, 0-0. Remember, we're trying to stay until half time. That is how we saw the strategy kind of working best. And we got a goal. We got a goal to the favourite, so that is good. Okay, that is good. That's what we want with this strategy. If we're going to get a goal, we want it to go to the favourite. So we cash out on the match odds for a profit there of £281, and it's going to be a loss on the 2.5 goals market. And overall, trades for that strategy would make us £190 of profit. So I'm going to click on end game to skip that to the final whistle because we are done. And we can see Pacos Ferreira went out and won that 5-0 in the end, okay? But now we just go back to our strategy, and now we've got a profit on board, and now we've got 2 trades. One of them has won. We've got a 50% strike rate, and we're in a little bit of profit. So not a bad start to testing out this strategy. Let me run one more on this video, okay? So we're going to go again, simulate random match, and we've got Cagliari against Napoli. So Napoli at 1.8, and then we've got the let me just put that stake into the market. £500. We're going to back Napoli, and then we're going to back under 2.5 goals there at 2.52. So a nice generous price on under 2.5 goals. And if you remember, when we were looking at this strategy and planning it out, we knew the best case scenario was actually a goal to the favourite late on in the second half. That allows us to win on both the markets, okay? And that's when we kind of hit the jackpot with it. Anyway, this match is underway. 5 minutes in, it's 0-0. 15 minutes in, still 0-0. It's not bad. I mean, if it's 0-0, we profit, right? Okay, we've got a goal to Napoli, and as you can see, it's going to be like a £16 profit. We're going to make that £156 cash out profit on the match odds market, but obviously the loss on the 2.5 goals market is going to cancel out most of that. But that's kind of the idea behind the strategy, okay? We want to have one of those markets to use, well, to use the match odds market as a sort of insurance, okay? So anyway, there is a £16 of profit there. Let's just end this game and move on to the next one. It ended up 3-0 to Napoli. So, I mean, it's not bad. It's another bit of profit, okay? So we can't complain about that, but it's not the type of profit we're looking for. Anyway, so far we've got 3 trades, 2 have won, 1 was lost. So, so far we're in profit, okay? But I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to run this another 7 times. Let's get up to 10 trades, kind of see where we stand before we tweak it any further, okay? So we're just wrapping up the final match from this first little batch of simulations. Parma against Lazio. And looks like it's going to be a 0-0 at half time. Okay, so we're just going to cash these out. You can see we backed Parma 2.32 and then the unders at 1.96. And looks like it's going to make a nice profit. We're going to lose on the match odds, but then we're going to make a nice profit from the 2.5 goals market. And then you're going to see how this first little mini trial went. Because like I said, we're only testing 10 matches. And in reality, we want to test a bigger batch. But let's click on end game. And then we're going to add that profit in. So that one ended 1-1. And then we're just going to add this profit to that. And then we can see on the tracker how this little trial went. Okay, we did 10 trades. We won 6, so it's a 60% strike rate, and we ended up with a profit in the end, £324, 44 pence. The P&L went as high as £548 at one point. Then we had a really bad loser, but yeah, that's not bad. So that's not a bad start, not a bad start at all. Okay, and if that was that sort of profit after 100 trades, then it could be interesting. Okay, it is 10 trades. It's a tiny sample, so we're not exactly going to be booking our flights to Barbados anytime soon. But what we're going to try now is we're going to try a version 2 of this strategy with a little tweak, because when I was testing it, I did kind of get a good idea of the type of matches which are probably a lot better for this strategy. So let's jump back to the drawing board, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean with the tweak. So we're back at the drawing board, and my little tweak was this idea that I'm going to show for you right here. And it was to tighten the odds range and to only get involved when the favourites are 1.9 or higher, and under 2.5 goals was 1.9 or higher. And the main reason is that when I was running the simulation, there were some matches with very short price favourites. And when they're short price favourites, they're very likely to score early. But since their prices are so short, the insurance part of the strategy doesn't really help us. And so we end up losing on both markets if there is a reasonably early goal. So I would be interested to see what happens if we tighten up the odds range and only look for these higher prices. Okay, favourites 1.9 or higher, and under 2.5 goals 1.9 or higher. It should be an interesting variation to try, and it should be pretty easy to try because we're going to run it through the software. So we're going to jump back on the simulator and give it a try. But remember, if you want the simulator for yourself so you can test your own strategy ideas in as many scenarios as possible, then the simulator will be released soon via invite only. You have to be on the invite list to get a chance to buy this. Click the link below the video, put your email address in, and you will get more details once access is open. This is the only way to get hold of this at the moment, okay? So just put your very best email address in below the video. Anyway, let's test out this variation. So let's give this version 2 a go, and then we can start to get a really good idea of the direction we want to take this in, okay? So we're going to just enter that in there. We're going to start to run some simulations with version 2. So let's just get going with it. So click on simulate random match. However, now we need to be careful to make sure the matches are actually going to fit what we're looking for. So this match with Villarreal, 1.72 favorite, does not fit what we're looking for. So let's click on simulate random match again. Got a match here, Crystal Palace at home. The under 2.5 goals market is too short. So that again doesn't fit what we're looking for. And so you have to be a little bit patient to kind of click through the matches in order to find what we're looking for. That one there doesn't fit either. Sporting Braga. Okay, this one fits. Okay, we got Braga from the Portuguese league at 2.1 and then under 2.5 goals at 2.08. So they're both above 1.9. So let's give it a go. And if we can really find the best odds range to use this strategy on, then it's a case of then maybe looking at the staking and the tweaking of that, okay, whether we want to still go 50-50, if we want to adapt it, and so on. And then once we've got a really, really good idea of the strategy, then we start to test it on live matches and find some statistical filters going from there. So anyway, we're in the market, okay, match odds. We've backed Braga here, 2.1 with £500. We're backing under 2.5 goals of £500 at 2.08. I think it's time for some crowd noise again. Okay, let's go and let's let this match go in play. Okay, not a great start. Not a great start at all. We've got a goal in the first 5 minutes. It's gone to the favourite though, so that is good because it really, really minimises our loss. It could have been worse. It could have gone to the way underdog. It would have been a much bigger loss. But looks like we're going to take an overall loss on this one of £41. Okay, so you can see the damage there on the 2.5 goals market, £236. So if we weren't using this strategy, that is what we would be staring at overall. Okay, £236 a loss. In the end, that match finished 3-2. Okay, so let's record this, and we're going to record it into our new strategy, and then that should start to record on there, and we can start to really build up a good idea and test all the variations against each other. Okay, so it is a case of finding another one, and remember, we've really got we've tightened it down, so we've really got to find matches which fit what we're looking for, and they've both got to be above 1.9. Okay, so let's skip through. But like you can see, this is a great bit of software. You can really find so many matches to trade. Okay, all right, this one looks good. Leon here, 1.94, and then under 2.5 goals is there at 2.22. Okay, so let's get both of these into the market, and then we're gonna let this one go in play and see how this goes, and then we're going to try and collect 10 of these and then compare it to the original strategy. But anyway, let's move forward. So 0-0, 10 minutes in. Whoop, that's not good. That's not good. It's gone 1-0 and to the underdog. Okay, to the underdog. So that's our worst case scenario. Let's take the loss on the match odds market, and we're also going to take the loss on the 2.5 goals market as well. So not a great start to this strategy. Hold on, let me go down to the 2.5 goals market. Not a great start at all. 1-0 to Nantes, if that's how you pronounce it. Anyway, let's see how this one finished. The underdog took the lead, and they went on to win 2-1. Interesting. So let's record that. Really not a great start, right? 2 losers in a row with this tweaked variation of the strategy. Let's try another one for the purposes of the video. Palermo just about doesn't fit the odds range, okay? Torino, nope, doesn't fit. Feyenoord doesn't fit. Juventus against Lazio, just about out of the odds range. 1.88 on under 2.5 goals. Verona, okay, this one fits. Okay, so let's hope we can get a winner before I turn before I stop recording and then try and record the other trades. Otherwise, if the strategy comes back and starts becoming profitable, you guys probably won't believe me, right? But let's see what happens. Verona, let's back them with £500, and I'm going to back under 2.5 goals. All right. Anyway, let's let this one go and play. 5 minutes in, 0-0. So far, so good. 15 minutes, 0-0. Okay. 25 minutes, it's still 0-0. The profit's starting to build up. 35 minutes, still 0-0. And half time, 0-0. Okay, so in that scenario, we cash out of the match odds market for a loss, but the main profit is going to be from the 2.5 goals market. Okay, so £83 of loss on the match odds market, about £367 made on the 2.5 goals market. So nice bit of profit to add there. And yeah, kind of breaks our slow streak there. Okay, we lost 2 in a row. Okay, I think that's locked in. Let's click on end game and see how this one ended. Ended 1-0 to the underdog. Okay. All right, let's add it to the strategy. We were a £468 loss before. Now we've got that loss down to 184. Okay, so we traded 3 matches there very, very quickly. Like I said, you should be able to trade a 90-minute match within 90 seconds. In real life, you know, that's a few hours of trading there to kind of get the same sort of data. But anyway, I'm going to go in the background, get this trading batch up to 10. Hopefully, this goes into some sort of profit. I'll keep you posted. So, interestingly, this version 2 has recovered from its bad start and now just edged ahead in the P&L from version 1. Okay. However, still one more trade to do, and this trade could really make or break it. If this is a profitable one, then it's going to really increase the profits. If it's a loser, then it could send it right back down to 0. So I thought I would press record again and let you guys see it. So this was the last trade I just did on the French match, which looked really good for it, especially in the French league, which kind of lacks goals. But anyway, let's try this again. This is going to be the final match that we're going to look for, and this will really determine. Oh yeah, so we got one already. All right, Sunderland against Fulham. We're going to back Fulham at 2.32, and then we're going to back under 2.5 goals. Sorry, under 2.5 goals. So let's just get that in the market. Put 500 on each. So this will determine it. And you know, just to be fully clear, when you're doing this in reality, you want to have a much, much bigger data sample than 10. Okay, just want to be clear about that before anyone feels the need to comment and tell me how small the data sample is. But we want to just keep the video as interesting as possible, yeah? So let's see how this one goes. This is going to decide which strategy we kind of move forward with. So 0-0, 10 minutes in. So far, so good. 20 minutes in, 0-0. And remember, if we need a goal, we need it to come from Fulham. Come on, Fulham. 25 minutes in, still 0-0. I mean, you know, if it's 0-0, that's a winner. 35 minutes, still 0-0. Let's tick it up. Let's go to 40 minutes. Still 0-0. 41. And the profit's looking good now. £230. We're going to stick in there till half time. 43. 44. Yeah, half time 0-0. I'll take that. All right, there you go. I'll definitely take that. So half-time 0-0, and our overall profit is going to be £261. And so we cash out of the match odds market, and then we get involved with taking the profit from the 2.5 goals market, which is £334, okay? And obviously they cancel each other out. 261 profit from this, okay? Let's see how this match ended, and then we're going to add it to the final tally. So it was a 1-0 win to Sunderland, that one. And let's scroll down, and so that brings the version 2 profit up to £600, which was quite good. It got off to a really bad start. I think even the trade I did after I stopped recording was another loser as well, straight away. And so it's been a nice bit of recovery, and that kind of shows you, I mean, when you're testing these strategies in real life, you're getting off to, what was it, the first 3 or 4 trades, losers. 3 out of 4 were losers. Most people would just give up on that, right? But at least with a simulator, you're not risking any of your own money, and you're not really risking that much time as well. It's very, very quick to run this test. And so you can see that out of the 2, and yes, tiny sample. However, it does look like version 2 has a little bit more of potential, okay? Of course, over a bigger sample, these could all go in the negative, okay? I'm not out here on this video trying to say that we've discovered a profitable strategy. It's mainly to just demonstrate the software, but you get an idea of how you would go about testing your strategy. You test it kind of blindly on any sort of match profile, then tighten up the match profile and see if that improves things or not, and then just keep testing and tweaking before you decide to go live with it. So far, I mean, that version 2 looks a lot better to me. We got a 70% strike rate out of that, and we made a bigger profit as well. So that's looking okay so far, but there is still a lot of work that really needs to be done, okay? So if you are interested, I'm going to try a third variation in this video, and my third variation that I propose is that I think that going for under 2.5 goals prices of 1.9 or higher, it definitely makes sense. But is going for favourites 1.9 or higher sensible, considering they're not that strong? Okay, what if we went for really strong favourites that are more likely to take the lead, which means more chance for our insurance to kick in should there be a goal? So this is my proposal for a variation, is to only back favourites priced between 1.5 and 2.0, and we will keep the under 2.5 goals price as it was, okay, at 1.9. Okay, when you are running experiments, you should only really change one variable at a time, if you remember those science lessons. But this is the variation I propose here for the final mini test, and I think we should just dive right back into it. But if you are liking this video, and before I get into the final test, and if you didn't do it earlier on, please do click the like button to show your support for the channel, and to also please the YouTube algorithm. I didn't realize that was important before, but apparently it really is. So if you could click like, it would be very, very useful. And also, there is a lot going on in this video, but if you have any ideas that can help improve this strategy, or any potential flaws that we should be aware of, do leave them in the comments. The idea behind all of what we're doing in this video is that we can all try and work together to build a profitable strategy together. So I'd love to know what you think and what could be improved and what not, okay? Anyway, let's try out version 3. Let's see how this one goes. So let's give it a go. This could be just an interesting variation to check out. And like I said, when you get the software for yourself, then the world is your oyster. You could just try out all these variations until the cows come home, okay? So this is going to be version 3, okay? And it's like I said, it's going to be slightly different, but the theory is that I think we should get less losing trades, because those underdogs really, really should be defending. And it could be a good balance. But anyway, let's try and find the matches which fit this profile. We're going to have to really, really dig deep, I think, to find these. So you might have to bear with me. But again, you can kind of get an idea of how many matches, how many different sorts of match profiles you can trade. Look at all these from Serie A. Lots of even matchups, which are scrolling through the program at the moment. And looks like we've got a favourite there, Trabzonspor. Okay, so this one fits. Trabzonspor there at 1.89. So a strongish home favourite against Sivasspor. So you would think that Sivasspor would be happy to defend during that first half, okay, rather than trying to grab a goal. And then it should minimize the worst case scenario losses that we can take. That's the theory anyway. Let's test out the theory. That's the whole idea with the software. So yeah, we're just about to go underway with this one. Let's get some crowd noise going again. Let's get those matches playing in the background to really give it that in-play feel. And let's let this one go in play. Trabzonspor against Sivasspor from the Turkish league. And, well, interesting start, right? So, yeah, the theory was correct. Strong favourite, but Trabzonspor has scored early. And in this case, too early. So it's going to be a loss here of £71 overall. Okay, we're going to make 184 on the match odds market, but we're obviously going to get destroyed on the 2.5 goals market. But that's kind of the idea. Okay, that's why we're tweaking it, because we got the idea that we want to try and get involved in matches which minimizes the chances of those away teams scoring. Okay, so not a great start for this third strategy that we're going to test here. Let's add it now to this one. So minus £71 there. And so, yeah, not a great start at all. Let's go find another match which fits what we're looking for. I mean, some sort of feature where we could kind of put in our desired odds would probably be quite handy. But we've already pushed this software as much as we can for the moment. So we're trying to find it. We've got Brentford at home. This could be good. Brentford at home to QPR. Okay, Brentford here at 1.56 and under 2.5 goals at 2.92. I remember I went to a few Brentford QPR derbies in my youth, and they weren't pretty, to say the least. So anyway, 500 plus 500 to back Brentford here, 1.56, and then back the unders. Okay, so this is kind of what we're looking for. We'd expect QPR would be happy to defend away to a strong home team like this. So let's see how this one plays out. So we're 5 minutes in and it's 0-0. 15 minutes in and it's 0-0. 25 minutes and it's now 1-0 to Brentford. However, look at that. We're still taking a loss, okay, even though it's 25 minutes in. So the short price on Brentford hasn't really done us any favors there, okay. So that's something to keep in mind, and we kind of did go through this earlier on in this video. But yeah, so that's not a great scenario at all. Okay, we got a goal to the favorite. We're going to lose on the under 2.5 goals market. We're also going to lose on the match. Well, we're going to profit on the match odds market, but we're going to lose overall. So that is no good. Let's skip to the end and record this, and then we can just add this to the profit and loss. But it's not a great start for this version of the strategy. Let's get another one. Let's get one more. Then I'm going to stop recording. I'm going to push it forward and show you guys the results. So we've got Galatasaray here against Antalyaspor. So let's see how this one goes. We're going to back Galatasaray here at 1.52. And then we're going to back under 2.5 goals at 2.28. So let's let this one go in play and let's see how this one turns out. Press play. We're 10 minutes in and it's 0-0. 20 minutes in and it's 0-0. 30 minutes in and it's 0-0. 40 minutes in and it's 0-0. Do we get to half time? Yeah, we do. It's 0-0 at half time. So we've locked in a profit there of £300. Okay, so minus £77 on the match odds market. And what is going to be a profit, if I can scroll down, of 383 on the 2.5 goals market. Okay, so yeah, I mean that should definitely help us out after a bit of a bad start with this one. But I'm not totally convinced by this, and I think we might have to tighten the odds range a little bit more. But let's end the game and then we add it to the tracker and then take a look. So that one actually finished 0-0 as well, interestingly. So anyway, let's add that, and that puts us now in profit on the tracker, okay? So that's not a bad start, considering on the last strategy we were in a loss and then we still managed to turn a profit. Okay, so let me just stop recording. I'm going to quickly run through these simulations, and I'll update you once we've done 10 trades with this. So just to update you on this one, I've done 9 trades, and so far this one's looking like it's going to be the most profitable one, which I'm quite surprised at. We haven't actually had a worst case scenario loser, which kind of fits with the theory. However, we got one more trade to do for our little test, so I thought I'd press record again, and then you guys can see it, because if we do get a bad loser, then it would put it back to being less profitable than version 1. Okay, and again, it is a tiny sample. We're not drawing any huge conclusions from this little simulation experiment. But you can see I just did this match, Man United-Liverpool, which was kind of interesting to do. Man United winning 3-0 there. So let's start again. We're going to simulate random match. And again, we do have to be patient, because we're really looking for those matches with a strong odds-on favourite. Okay, Atletico Madrid there at 1.28, but too low. Hull there at 1.69, and but the unders is too low. So really got to scroll through and find these matches which fit the profile. So we got this one here, Ghent from the Belgium League at 1.56. So we're going to try and back Ghent, and then we're going to back under 2.5 goals there at 2.12. Looks like I've clicked twice there on Ghent, so you can just remove the bet by unclicking that box, which is a nice little feature. And then back under 2.5 goals at 2.12. So it all relies on this match. Okay, let's see if version 3 of this strategy really is as good as it's looked so far. Okay, let's go and play with this one. Ghent against, well, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. Let's go. So we're 5 minutes in and it's 0-0. 15 minutes in, still 0-0. And the profit is starting to build up. 25 minutes in, 0-0. 35 minutes in is 0-0. Let's get to 40 minutes. Oh, okay, that's not great. Not great. So I did say there hasn't been a worst case scenario loser, and then we get one. Okay, so yeah, we've got the away team have scored to take the lead, and we are going to have to probably take a loss kind of on both markets. Now the match odds market, that's going to be the biggest loss, £260. The under 2.5 goals market, the loss isn't so bad. Okay, so minus £9.26. So okay, I mean there we finally took a pretty decent hit to the profit. It was definitely going along nicely with this one until I pressed record. But that's the final match of our little 10 match trial, and you can see how that match finished, 3-2 in the end. Bit of a thriller. And so let's apply that there, and so that actually it was the version which had the biggest profit, but now it's the version with the second most profit, and version 2 is still the winner at the moment. But of course, tiny samples. Whole point of this video is just to show you how you can test strategies using the football trading simulator. I am not encouraging you to go out in the market and throw £500 stakes at this strategy. You definitely need to run some more tests and try some other variations as well. Okay, 10 trades, that doesn't really tell you much, but it is interesting that we've done 10 trades with each version, and they've all ended up profitable after the first 10 trades. So it's definitely shown some sort of promise. And of course, based on what you've seen, we can also try different ways to tweak it as well. I think maybe version 3, I would definitely be interested in tweaking it. So maybe we put 60% on the favorite, 40% on unders, or something similar, and then seeing how that went. But I think that we've done enough of these tests for this video today. Okay, I don't want to bore you guys and send you to sleep. But yeah, interesting stuff, and it just shows how you can test these strategies using the football trading simulator. You're going to have hours and hours and days and nights of fun with this. So those are the results of our little mini test, and we can start to draw some tentative conclusions. And obviously, like I've said a few times in this video, it is a tiny data sample. We can't really draw any solid conclusions from it. But one thing I was kind of annoyed about is that all 3 versions of the test all produced a profit. It might lead some people to think that this is easier than it actually is. So, yeah, don't believe that all 3 of these are definitely going to hold their profit going forwards. That is why you need a much bigger sample. Almost any strategy can be profitable over 10 trades, okay? The much bigger test is once you hit that 100 or 1,000 or more, okay? One thing that is interesting, though, is that over all 3 of the variations, they kind of stuck to a very similar winning percentage of strike rate, okay, with between 60 and 70%. So that is definitely interesting. The early tentative conclusions to draw is that I do feel that version 2 has the best, probably the best potential, or a mix between version 2 and 3. It is just a case of maybe finding the right sweet spot with the price on the favorite. I think 1.5 is a little bit low. 1.6 is a little bit low as well. Maybe if we only back favorites between 1.65 and maybe 2.2 or something like that, that could be version 4 to test. I think we're on the right lines with the under 2.5 goals price. I think that is okay. But then also we need to maybe look at the staking plan. So maybe we could put 60% on the favorite, 40% on under 2.5 goals, and then run a test that way and then see how that one plays out. But I do think the strategy has a lot of promise. I think that Craig's idea was very good. And I'm glad that we've kind of run with this for this little video series. But yeah, you kind of see the early stages of the mini test. But anyway, if you have any strategy to test or anything like that, any strategy idea that is in your mind, then you can test it yourself with the football trading simulator. You could test the same strategy that you've seen in this video, or you could test a whole totally different one, and you could test it 100 times, 1,000 times, or until the cows come home, okay? This is going to be out very, very soon, okay? It's only going to be available via invite only. You have to be on the waiting list to get one of those invites. So you have to submit your email address below this video, and then you'll get an invite to join once it is available. It will not be available anywhere else, okay? We really, really have to kind of limit the numbers with this one. So that is that. So if you are interested, you know what to do. The link is below this video. And yeah, if you're new to this channel, you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get all the new videos as soon as they come out. And if you're interested in watching another video, there should be 2 more new videos for you to check out on the screen right now. So go check those videos out, and I'll see you right there.